Well, now with 2 cars, new paint scheme, and lots of racetracks to visit, these next 3 or 4 years get pretty wild.
It could have been a lot worse. Several cars scrambled down the backstretch, and one of the guys, indeed, a Chevrolet. Inside of road 2. On the outside, Trish Koger. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She was on the pit crew for Lynn St. James last year at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Florida Online, one of the internet providers, on board as a sponsor. And I tell you what, a great lady, and her husband Rick, he fills in whenever she can't pedal. She'll be on the outside. Keep an eye on car number 90.
Ken Golden gives them a look. They're side by side, 2 by 2 at a snail's pace. Hatcher waits for the signal. Green flag's out.
All right, Hatcher powers to the point, sneaking by on the inside in car number 44. Jerry Captain tries to get underneath Koger as they head off of turn number 2. Captain picks up second.
Captain still trying to seal off the second spot. He'll do so, and Koger hangs on the outside over in turn number 4. Meanwhile, going for third, the 0 car, I believe that's Jimmy Green.
A battle wages heavily into turn number 1, still side by side. Now Captain, he's up to the point, and then he will relinquish. Actually, in the second spot, that was Daryl Hatcher.
Got down onto the dirt in the racetrack and will loop it over there in the apex of 3 and 4. They get that car back underway. No harm, no foul.
All right, we'll get a number on that. That is car number 66, Jerry Knowles out of Georgia. And we've got car number 5 spinning in turn number 2.
Talking about Jerry Knowles out of Georgia in that number 66 car. He's sporting the colors of the all-new Volusia Speedway Park.
No, you know what, Joe? I believe that's the Jerry Knowles that used to race in your lead at this point. And back in the second spot, Joe, as you mentioned, Daryl Hatcher in the number 97 car. Hatcher, one to keep an eye on also. And then the 0 car, that is Green. And I believe his first name, Jimmy Green. And we'll keep an eye on Jimmy Green and Trish Koger in the number 90. We get set to go racing once again.
Single file. Captain leads the field. Kaufman, rather, leads the field down into turn number 1. The 97 of Hatcher looks to reel him in, can't get it done. Then it's going to be Green. Kroger, the battle's back for the 5th spot. That's where the 87 and the 29 go door to door.
All right, Dennis Gardner shoots to the outside, tries to pull along Koger, and they go 3 wide, going to the inside into number 87. That's Lance Enos.
He's going to make Trish Kroger the meat in that sandwich as she gets shuffled back a little bit. Meanwhile, up front, out on a Sunday drive, it's Captain.
Captain shows the way, coming off of turn number 4. Hatcher rides in the second spot, feeling the pressure now from the 0 of Jimmy Green. They head back into turn 1.
Hatcher trying to hold on to the second spot. Now the battle, the auction is on as Green now looks to the inside on the backstretch, and he'll get a nose alongside, but nothing there. He'll tuck back in.
Out of Elm City, North Carolina, battling now for the second spot. Jimmy Green looks to the inside of Hatcher. Can't do it. He'll try again, hitting into turn number 1.
Dennis Gardner from Shenango Falls, New York, making that little White Legends car work up on the outside. All that happening. Oh, and it looks like Green loops it around, does the end around. He's still underway. Got to give a call to Green.
And another car spins. 2 of them up by the wall. That is the number 87. That is Lance Enos out of Youngsville, North Carolina. Spins in the cars, all Ford bodies. And then in the 5th spot, that is a Chevrolet. And then the new Dodge, that is the 0 car of Green, the first Dodge on the grid here tonight. But Ford shows the way. And folks, if you look at the front of those cars, what gives the Ford away is they have the little headlights detail, whereas the Chevrolets have the more rounded fenders without the bulging out headlight feature. So that's one of the ways you can tell them apart.
Also, go single files at a snail's pace over in turn number 3. Green flag early.
It'll be up to Captain. They come off in turn 4, right behind Hatcher. The top 2 going and setting a pace into turn number 1. And right behind Humphrey, tries to move to the outside in turn 2.
Humphrey did take a look. He thought better of it. Now he's going to make it in the inside spot. That's going to be for second. Handily moves around Hatcher.
Well, Hatcher now comes back on the inside. Joe, these cars equally prepared, and you can see now Hatcher picks up the point. No, he doesn't quite pull it off. We thought he was going to get it heading in turn one.
Unable to do so. 2 to go this time for Cafton. As he is in command, he leads the field, pinches it off tightly down into turn number 3, and now Hatcher once again puts in his bid for second.
As they roll off of turn 4, Kenny Goldman has the white flag in hand. It waves, and Cafton shows the way into turn number 1. Right behind Humphrey, then Hatcher, then the number 29 car holding down the 4th and final spot. That is Dennis Gardner, your top 4. What a...
Steve Mendenhall from Clayton, North Carolina. He'll go alongside the number 30 of Rusty Brady. Rusty hails from Greenville, Indiana. Row number 2 consists of the number 40 car tonight. That's Dave Froelich from Loxahatchee, our very own Florida resident. He'll go alongside the number 3 of Jim Nagy. Jim from Ontario, Canada. Starting in row number 4 in the number 8 is Robert Ham, a multiple winner in the Gatorade Florida Legend Series. He goes alongside the number 2 of Ed Brown. Making up row number 5, the number 10 of Andy Logan. And the final spot is the number 22.
Not on there.
So out front is the number 18. It's going to be Steve Mendenhall. He brings the field across the stripe. Mendenhall doing a great job, but the 40 looks to reel him in. Dave Froelich. Bear with us, folks. It's going to take a little while. We can get everybody familiarized here. Single file now, nose to tail. It's going to be Mendenhall out front in the 18.
Mendenhall's the former national champion.
Mendenhall, a very familiar name in the Gatorade Florida Legend Series, or the Florida Legend Series. Former national champion. Those 2 cars, single file, nose to tail, battles back for the 4th spot.
And it'll be side by side down the back straightaway.
Team cars. Mendenhall smooth through turn number 4. And Froelich looks to throw a hook. Froelich looks to the outside, thinks better of it, tucks back in. Single file once again, battle way in the back for that transfer spot.
And now Ham moving up to challenge for the 3rd spot. Rusty Brady holding it down, and then Fenwell Payne is number 30. And Ham now moving to the outside, and he'll bring Ed Bashburn along with him.
Andy Logan rides further on back in the 10 car. Everybody single file. Now Logan steps out of line, and that's going to open the door for the number 2 of Ed Brown.
2-car breakaway at the front. You know, we find ourselves using MRN.
Trouble in turn 4, the e-ticket ride. Robert Ham looks like he was involved. The 22 gets away. The unnamed driver in that number 22 car. 1 car still to rest. That's the number 2 up on its side of Ed Brown.
And CD Candler on the outside of row number 2. Green flag waves, wide off in the corner. Single file down into turn number 1. And here comes Captain John Smith. Brady jumps to the outside, gets squirrely, gets tagged, and almost collects another car with him. Moves to the back as quickly as that race started. Past the stripe, the battle right now, the 21 team, Captain John Smith and Jerry Captain. They're waging a battle for the lead. The 75 of Ronnie Allison in tow. The 4-car spins in the middle of turn number 2. That is Marvin Goins. And Goins brings out the second car in this major event tonight. Bowling Green, Kentucky's own Jerry Captain in tow. That's the battle for the lead. John Smith down the straightaway to the inside. Captain, he takes a look. Allison rides in third. Then it's Candler. Teddy Richard in fifth. And then Terrell rides in the sixth slot. Single file back at a turn number 1. Your top 6 cars, nose to tail. Now it's a drag race down the backstretch. Those FJ 1200 Yamahas begin to crank it up down these long straightaways. Coming off a corner now, Captain has a run. Takes a look under Captain John Smith. Can't do anything this time by. He'll take another look to the inside, down the backstretch, side by side. Who's going to break first? It is not going to be Captain. Captain now takes the lead. John Smith gives up the second spot now to the number 75 of Allison. C.D. Candler also slips underneath the 21 machine. And now it'll be up to Teddy Richard to try to advance. Teddy right now riding in that 5th position. One more time down the backstretch. Captain with the advantage. Allison rides in second, 3-car lengths back. It's Candler. A 2-car battle now shapes up for the 4th position. Smith and Teddy Richard. Battle now for the 6th spot, the number 88 of Dan Terrell, Jimmy Green in the 0, Greg Boyd in the 63, middle of turn number 4. Terrell gets a little bit loose, Green takes a look, can't do anything now. Boyd will go to the top side of the speedway. A tight battle for the 6th position. Now Boyd all the way up along the wall, uses that to his advantage to pull back up on the back bumper of the 0-car of Green. Stretching it out over the rest of the competitors. Number 44 of Jerry Captain. He begins to walk off by about an 8-car length advantage. Getting near the halfway point in this 25-lap feature event for the Masters Division of the Legends Cars tonight. Captain now all by himself. It won't be long, he'll be in the lap traffic. The battle heats up for the 2nd spot. Allison with the number 75 rides in second, nose to tail. Candler feeling the pressure from Captain John Smith. Smith applying the chrome horn down the backstretch, pushing Candler into turn number 3. Teddy Richard now on the 74 begins to tighten up the gap as they roll back into turn at number 1. Richard now works the back deck lid of Captain John Smith. A 4-car draft going into turn 3 for 2nd position. Candler now all over the back of Ronnie Allison. Candler will take a look to the inside, but Allison pulls away down the stretch. Car spinning off a turn number 2. Right in front of the leaders. The 0-1 car. All right, here he comes. Your leader, Jerry Captain, rolls off the turn number 4. Allison in tow. He's getting help from C.D. Candler. Nose to tail, the top 3 cars roll off. Turn number 2. Now Allison puts the nose underneath the Captain. He's not backing off. Captain stays on the gas with the advantage past his right. Captain now shoots to the bottom of the racetrack. Candler now moves on to the back deck lid of Allison. Allison had a shot at the lead. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to make a go of it. Captain begins to walk away from the top 2 cars. Single file down the backstretch. Captain with with the advantage. Second, Ronnie Allison begins to push up the racetrack. 4-car breakaway, battling for the lead. The number 4 car now, Marvin Goines, goes to the pits. And now we've got a change for the lead. Cafton slipped up. Allison shot by on the bottom. Candler almost did the same, trying to get underneath the Cafton. This time by Cafton now goes to work on the back bumper, the 75 of Ronnie Allison. He wants to get back into the lead, takes a look to the bottom, and then backs off. He's got to worry about Candler. Single file coming off of turn number 4. Once again, Cafton challenging for the lead on the back bumper of Ronnie Allison. Sticks the nose to the bumper, then looks to the inside. Allison drops down, guards that line in the middle of turn number 1. Moved his way on up into the top 5 position. Teddy Richard loses a spot in that exchange. Top cars now stringing it out. Top 4, nose to tail in the middle of turn number 4. Laps to go. Ron Allison with the advantage. Jerry Cafton from Bowling Green, Kentucky, rides in the second spot, working that car as hard as he can. Broke the tires loose coming off at turn 4, but pulls back on the deck lid of Ronnie Allison. And once again, Thompson spins in turn number 3. C.D. Candler. That's your top 3. In the 4th spot, the number 21, Captain John Smith. The 0 of Jimmy Green. The 74 of Teddy Richard. Dan Terrell in the 88. Greg Boyd in the 63. And the 31 car of Dave Frady. As they go up through the gears with the advantage, Ron Allison shows the way in turn number 1. Top 5 cars, nose to tail, pushing each other down the back stretch. Captain John Smith looks to the outside, falls back in line in the 21. Top 2 cars drift wide up past the start-finish line and then tucked back down. Candler looks to the inside of Cafton. Cafton with a good run now goes to the top side, then backs off. Trying to take a look around Allison for the lead. 2 to go this time by. Ron Allison shows the way. Cafton in second, looks to the inside. Cafton can't do it this time. The white flag will wave. Now Cafton dives to the bottom, goes underneath, pushes Ron Allison to the top. Allison tries to motor back on the outside. The preferred line is Cafton's. Cafton's takes along Candler with him. A half a lap to go, a drag race to the finish. Allison bolts to the outside, spins the number 75 off of turn 4, and taking the win, the number 44 of Cafton. Coming home in the second spot, the number 51 of C.D. Candler. All right, we're going to go ahead and set the field for you. The semi-pro division. And that would be Dave Osborne out of Indiana as we get set to go. Dan Terrell on the inside of the next row, the number 88. And we get set to turn it loose. Racing. Teddy Richard bolts to the high side.
Hatcher looks down low. Richard stays out there. Everybody 2 by 2 down onto the backstretch.
And Hatcher gives up the spot, and we've got a car spinning down the backstretch.
Yelton, the number 8 car. Jamie Yelton from High Point, North Carolina, loops it around.
4 wide in the middle of turn number 4.
Oh, Hatcher squeezed down the number 1 car of Ed Lapine from Altamont. That could have been tragic. Caution number 1 comes out. Yelton's back underway.
And we've got 98 at Volusia Speedway Park. Dirt and asphalt racing at its finest.
At a snail's pace now, Ken Golden gives them a look on the front row. Ted the Head Richards goes alongside Candler in the number 51.
Hatcher on the inside in the 97, and then we talked about him in the 21, Tolliver Smith, and here we go.
Oliver Smith looking to advance, and he'll do it. He'll take third place. Meanwhile, Candler trying to hold on to the top spot. Ted Richards needs to tuck in single file. Here comes Tolliver for second.
Door to door, heading into turn 3. Tolliver Smith with the advantage, scoots underneath Ted Richards.
Oh!
Got 2 cars spinning.
Trouble.
Hard contact in the middle of turn 3. Getting sandwiched in there, Dan Carroll, the number 88, got boxed in.
Another car comes to rest up by the Armco. I believe that's the number 56 car. But the hardest hit coming from the 88.
That is Dan Carroll, the number 98, out of Mooresville, Indiana. The number 98, or the 80.
Okay, that about wraps it up for this this video. We're going to go into the ending of the Legends Car Series here in a few minutes. We'll have a few more videos, I think, or pictures of the white number 1 KY car right there. And the reason for that is in '98 we won the state championship in Kentucky up at Louisville Motor Speedway. That speedway is no longer there. UPS bought it for part of their airport expansion, but we won the championship that year, and that allowed us to put the number 1 number on our car along with the state emblem or abbreviation. Therefore, we could run the Nationals in Charlotte with all the other number 1 cars because each one had their state on it. Only about 7 or 8 of us actually did that. Most of them, or the rest of them, kept their original numbers, but it was an interesting little bit of aspect to the Charlotte Nationals in that year and the next year. But this video will lead up to a few more races with that white sedan, and then we'll get into that car right there, and then we'll get into Austin's racing. He goes into quarter midget racing right there, and did that for a couple of seasons, 2 or 3 seasons. It was very interesting, and this will wind down my racing of the Legend Series at about the same time. But we'll also go into another session of racing after this video.